It might be a very cold and rainy October day, but that's not going to stop me from taking a look at some of the absolute best perennial grasses to have in your garden. Now, these are fantastic for autumn and winter interest, basically meaning that at autumn time, very late summer through to autumn, even into winter, these are going to look fantastic in your garden and provide something really special. Now, a lot of people focus on the colorful plants and flowers and such, but you can't forget about the grasses. They're absolutely essential too, and will provide an element to your garden that you can't get anywhere else. So that's exactly what we're going to be looking at in today's video. By the way, if you like gardening content, consider subscribing. I'm currently trying to hit 4,000 subscribers, and I would love to have you here. Let's start with my first favorite, which is a part of the Calamagrostis family. This one is Calamagrostis overdam. Now, I've got a lot of this particular type of grass in my garden, but I really like the special foliage on this one. How it's green in the middle, but it's got those two lighter lines on the edge. The actual feathers on it are so nice. They're really lovely. Trying to focus on it, it's very difficult because it's so thin. But yeah, it doesn't get too tall. This one currently is probably at about maybe 3 foot, just about, maybe a little bit less. And it can get a little bit taller than that, but there are definitely taller varieties of Calamagrostis that we'll check out in this particular video. But this one is really lovely. If you're looking for a shorter grass, but still one that provides a lot of interest, you'll really like this. As you can see in autumn time, it goes this sort of golden color. All of the stems kind of fade away and turn to gold. And it'll fade even more throughout winter, but it still looks fantastic. You know, I love that golden color that it goes. There's nothing wrong with it sort of dying off, as it were, because unlike a lot of perennials and flowers, when these die off, they almost look even better. So yeah, this is a really lovely one to have for that time of the year. Now here is my favorite Calamagrostis, which is called Carl Forrester, and this one is a lot taller. It can get, I believe, up to 5 foot, maybe slightly taller than that. The foliage, as you can see, is just pure green this time, like your traditional grasses, of course a little bit more spread apart, but the feathers on top, the seeds are so lovely. I love it. I mean, these look great planted in clumps. I've kind of got mine spread in a sort of triangle almost, so they kind of weave in and out of the other perennials, which obviously has kind of started to fade now. But yeah, it'll go golden as you can see it turning. It's so beautiful. Yeah, definitely one of my favorites. A beautiful prairie plant staple to have in your garden. This one is magnificent. It looks great really early on as well. This is one of those grasses that starts to look nice much quicker than a lot of the others very early on in the year, and then just stays great all the way through winter. This is going to look amazing. So get a lot of these, clump them up, have tons. I think that's something I'm probably going to do more of, is get even more of these, because yeah, they're really something special to have in your garden. And here's another one in the middle that you can see going even more golden at the top, and then another one that's a bit more kind of spread out here. So yeah, they're really nice. They look great in clumps, but you can also go for the whole look where, you know, they weave in and out of other plants too. That definitely works. Now right in the middle we have our stiper grass. Now, sadly in my garden, I can't show you the best example of this, but if you do a quick Google of Stiper gigantea, you'll see what I mean. Now, this grass is quite a big clump already, but this thing will get incredibly tall, up to like 8 foot pretty much. It is amazing. It's got the proper traditional feathers that you would think of on the grass, like feather dusters. It's not the hardiest here in the UK. It's actually got a pretty low hardiness rating, but a ton of people seem to have it anyways, and it seems to thrive, so I don't think it's too much of a problem really. It's amazing. It's part of the sort of, I believe they're called tufted grass, because, you know, again, they've got that sort of feathery look to them, and yeah, they're really lovely. You can divide this one as well if you want to get more of it, or just let it go into a massive clump like you can see this one. Now, if I kind of move over here, we can see it even better. This clump is already pretty big, but it's going to get massively tall next year. This one has just been cut back at the garden center because I got it really late. But, you know, later on next year, when we sort of get to the peak of summer, this will get really tall and look absolutely lovely. So definitely one that I recommend for your garden. It's a super great tall grass. Now, this one is called Stiper gigantea, the feather grass, and yeah, I absolutely love this. A prairie staple, going this beautiful golden color. It's very lovely to touch. So if you like sort of textural things in your garden, you'll really like this. Look how great it looks with all the dewdrops on it. I think that looks amazing. Yeah, this is another one. This one's very low growing, unlike the Stipa gigantea that I just mentioned. This one is a low growing one, and it will provide some really nice low interest, especially if you've got a prairie style garden. I like how it looks with these combination of plants. We've got the Alchemilla mollis, we've got the Brunera over there, and the Peter in the middle, and then I always forget the name of this. It should be here somewhere. This is the, it says Limonium, but I'm not so sure that's true. It might be. I wish I was, you know, I wish I could remember all of them off the top of my head, but there's like hundreds of plants in this garden, so I try my best. But anyways, I love this combination. I think it looks really nice. I do actually have some more over here. If we head on over to this section, you can see, yeah, this one's a lot bigger. Goes really nicely with the Agastache there. Great late interest, but it'll look good throughout the whole year. Again, not the hardiest here in the UK. It has a pretty low hardiness rating, same as the Stipa, but what are you going to do? They can't always be perfect. Sometimes you just have to take that risk and hope that they will be hardier than maybe the rating suggests. So yeah, I can't recommend this one enough, especially if you have a prairie garden and you're looking for some more low growing things to plant, then you really can't go wrong with this. Again, a great textural plant as well, and I love how it catches those dewdrops. Now, I always forget the technical name of this one, but I'll have it on screen. This is the Chinese fountain grass Hamlin. I'm not 100% sure, but oh my goodness. Just look at how this goes in the rain. Look at how it collects the dewdrops. Now, if I take this off, you'll kind of see what they usually look like. Just your typical sort of feathery type seed head. But oh my gosh, in the rain, it looks so wonderful. And I love how it's going this sort of golden color as well now, like a lot of them do. I just think that looks so magnificent. So, I mean, what can I say? You can't go wrong with this. Once again, very low hardiness rating. But I will say that I have had this in my garden now for over a year and had a pretty cold winter and it survived. I just mulched it around the base. So maybe that's what you should do with these less hardy grasses I mentioned on this list. Mulch them. Give them a good mulch and they should be fine. You know, I'm sure there's some people out there who have had these and had no problems at all. So, you know, congrats to you. But I guess if you want to be extra safe, definitely consider mulching them because that'll really help out a lot. Next, we have the beautiful Melinia caerulea transparent. And obviously this one here is called transparent because you can basically see through it. Now, I've only got the one here. I really want to add a few more of these in next year just so it's a bigger clump. But I ended up moving a lot of things around this year, so I haven't gone around to doing that yet. But yeah, what a wonderful grass to have. I don't like this one as much as the Calamagrostis because it is very thin. Like I said, it'll get a bit, you know, it'll come up a bit more than this one. So don't worry, this one's quite young. You know, this was a tiny little 9-centimeter plant, so it'll get bigger than this. But yeah, it's not my favorite, but I had to include it because, I mean, look at these seed heads. I love how they sort of like dangle and the dewdrops sort of catch off them. I'm mentioning a lot about the dewdrops, so if you're not in a rainy area, you might not see this, but hey, if you're here in England, you're going to see this a lot, so definitely recommend it for those particular aspects. But I had to mention this one because I do think it is really nice, honestly. Next, we have Panicum Buffalo Green, which isn't looking very green right now. Now, as you can kind of see in the middle, usually it'll be that sort of dark green color, lovely with these beautiful seed heads. But right now it's gone this absolutely gorgeous golden color, and I just think it looks so, so lovely. I mean, this is really a wonderful one to have for this time of the year. I love it when they really transform over the different seasons. You know, it's transforming like this in autumn, which is what you'd want at this time of the year, things to go golden. And then over winter, it'll kind of go to sort of a dark sort of brown color, but it's still going to look fantastic and still provide your garden with a lot of interest in a time where nothing else is really going on. You know, all your perennials have died off and look rubbish. So these grasses, in my opinion, are absolutely essential if you want your garden to be looking good all year round, because it really isn't just all about the flowers, the pretty flowers, you know, they're lovely too. And I do have a video I just made on perennials for autumn, so if you're looking for that, definitely check that out. But we can't not talk about these beautiful grasses which just provide so much, and this might be the best example of one really turning in autumn. You know, this one has really surprised me of how lovely it has gone, and I can't wait to see it back next year as well. I think that's going to be really exciting, so definitely a great one to have. Sadly, it's a bit hidden right now, but another one I want to mention that looks good earlier on in the year, so this isn't so much for autumn or winter interest, but it still looks good, is the Festucia Elijah Blue, a very low growing one that usually is blue colored. Right now in autumn it's kind of turned more kind of green, which is interesting, but you know, early on in the year this will be a proper blue color, especially throughout the peak of summer. And some of the varieties of Festucia can get these really like tufts coming out, you know, like these. They'll come out, obviously not that big, which is really nice. Mine didn't, so I'm guessing Festucia Elijah Blue doesn't do that, but I know some of the Festucias do, so I just wanted to mention that type of grass because it can come out with some really wonderful little seed heads, which I think are great for grasses. I think they add a huge dimension to it. So yeah, those are some of my absolute favorite perennial grasses that I think you should have in your garden. If doing this video has shown me one thing, it's that I need more and I need bigger clumps. You know, it's kind of hard to show some of these off in camera when they're so spread apart, so I'm definitely going to have to add more to my garden next year. And as always, this isn't an extensive list, exhaustive list I should say. It's a fairly extensive list, but it's not exhaustive. There are plenty more that I didn't mention here, which you can do down in the comment section. So please do suggest some of your absolute favorites, because we all want more grasses in our garden. You know, they're a fantastic thing to have. I love them so much, and I love what they add. So definitely in the comment section, let us know some of your favorites, and I will catch you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you here.